Okay, so I want you to close your eyes for just a second.
Setting the scene right out of the gate. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to picture this. Imagine the absolute coldest night you have ever felt in your life.
Oh, I know exactly the kind of cold you mean.
Right. I'm talking about that bone-deep Pennsylvania winter freeze where the air actually just hurts your face.
Yeah, where breathing feels sharp.
Exactly. And it is snowing, like those big, heavy, wet flakes that completely muffle every single sound around you.
Total eerie silence.
Total silence. And you are standing in the middle of the woods in the pitch black behind a massive mansion in Rosewood.
It's just the kind of setting where absolutely nothing good ever happens. I mean, in literature and honestly in true crime, the woods are always this place of transformation or trauma.
Completely.
It's where the rules of civilization just break down and the primal stuff takes over.
Precisely. And for our four protagonists, Spencer, Arya, High, and Emily, this specific patch of woods behind the Hastings estate is basically ground zero.
It's a graveyard of memories for them at this point.
It really is. But tonight they aren't there for memories. They're there because they got a text from a ghost.
Ian_T.
Yes, Ian Thomas. The man accused of murdering Alison DiLaurentis. The guy who skipped bail. The man the entire country is supposedly looking for.
And he texts them?
He texts them, quote, "Meet me in the woods where she died. I have something to show you."
Which, let's just pause right here, is an incredible hook for a story, but also a massive glaring red flag.
Right, like, why would you go?
Seriously, if I am a teenage girl and a fugitive murder suspect texts me to meet him in the murder woods at midnight, I am staying inside and I am locking all the doors.
You would think. Anyone would think that.
Yeah.
But this is the logic of trauma, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that desperate need for resolution.
Exactly. They need closure so badly. They need answers, so they actually go and they find him.
But he doesn't have something to show them.
No, he does not. He's the show.
This is the inciting incident of Killer the Sixth book in Sara Shepard's Pretty Little Liars series. And we really need to be very specific about what they see here because these details are going to matter for the rest of this deep dive.
Oh, yeah. We have to lay out the visceral reality of this scene because they find Ian Thomas dead.
And it is not some peaceful, sleeping beauty kind of death.
No, it is gruesome. The source material doesn't hold back at all. He is bloated. He's completely blue.
The description of the eyes is what really stuck with me.
With the eyes.
Yeah, one eye is bugged wide open, just staring at nothing in the dark, and the other is glued shut with frozen bodily fluids.
It's so gross. And his neck is twisted at this awful angle that just screams snapped. It is a highly unnatural, violent image.
And the kicker here, he's wearing his Rosewood Day class ring.
Right. Spencer actually sees the blue stone glinting in the moonlight.
So there is zero ambiguity in this moment for them. They are standing over the frozen corpse of their tormentor.
Or at least they think they are, because this is where the deep dive really kicks into gear.
Right, because this isn't just a standard murder mystery. It is a master class in psychological gaslighting.
Completely. Because the girls obviously panic. They run all the way back to the house to get the police.
Specifically, Officer Wilden, who is highly suspiciously absent from his post.
Very suspicious.
Yeah.
And by the time they drag Wilden back out to the clearing in the woods,
Her body is gone.
vanished. Poof. Just a layer of fresh, undisturbed snow where a bloated corpse used to be.
And that disappearance right there triggers the main conflict of this entire narrative. The question shifts. It's no longer who killed Ian.
Did we even see Ian?
Exactly. So we are going to explore three main pillars in this deep dive today. First, we're looking at the concept of institutional gaslighting. What actually happens when the police, the media, and even your own parents conspire to deny your reality?
Which is terrifying.
It really is. Second, we'll dig into the digital forensics of the early 2000s, how you track a literal ghost through instant messages. And third, the emergence of a brand new, much more physically aggressive A.
Let's start with that first pillar, that institutional gaslighting. Because when that body disappears, the reaction from the authorities is just baffling.
It is calculated incompetence. That's the only way to describe it. Just look at Officer Wilden. He is the first authority figure on the scene.
Right.
The girls are hysterical. They are describing a gruesome corpse in vivid detail. A good cop calls in a search team immediately and secures the perimeter. What does Wilden do?
He stalls. He literally claims he can't go into the woods because of procedure and needing permits for private property.
Which is legal nonsense. In exigent circumstances, like an active report of a dead body, police do not need a permit to walk into some woods,
He delays the entire search for hours.
giving whoever or whatever moved that body plenty of time to clean up the scene.
And because of that massive delay, when they finally do get around to searching, they find absolutely nothing. No blood, no hair, no fibers.
And here's where the official narrative dramatically shifts. This is a crucial concept when you look at how media and authority intersect the hoax narrative.
Yes, the media spin is wild here.
The police chief goes on T-Day. He doesn't just say we found no evidence. He says the girls made it up entirely.
He calls them attention seekers on national television.
He even brings in psychiatrists to publicly diagnose them with stress-induced hallucinations.
That is just so terrifying to me. Imagine seeing a bloated dead body right in front of you and then having the entire adult world, the people who are literally supposed to protect you, tell you that you are just crazy.
It violently vacillates the victim. It's designed to break down their trust in their own senses. And then the Ian is a live propaganda machine starts churning.
Right. The news reports start surfacing that Ian sent an email to his parents saying, quote, "I'm safe, leave me alone."
And the police suddenly claim they have this highly reliable tip that he is hiding out in California.
So these 4 girls are trapped in this waking nightmare where reality is being actively rewritten in real time. The world is telling them you didn't see a dead body in Pennsylvania. He's probably drinking a smoothie in San Diego right now.
Exactly. And this sets the stage for everything that follows in the source material. The girls can no longer trust any institutions.
I can only trust each other.
And that extreme isolation makes them incredibly vulnerable to the one single person who actually does believe them. Because while the police are busy denying Ian's death, A is using it as leverage against them.
But before we get to this terrifying new ghost, let's move into our first major segment, the resurrection of A and the Ian mystery.
Okay, so the entire world thinks Ian is panning in California. But Spencer Hastings is sitting alone in her refurbished barn using her sister Melissa's laptop, and she gets a ping, an instant message.
I love this specific detail so much because it dates the source material so perfectly, but it also grounds it in a very specific type of teenage anxiety.
Oh man, the AIM sound.
Yes, the sudden pop-up window on the screen. It's such a visceral memory for anyone who grew up in that era.
It really is. And the screen name that pops up, USC midfielder rocks, which is Ian's old handle. He played midfield at USC. It is a total blast from the past.
The message just says, "It is me, Ian." And he starts typing to Melissa, or, well, who he thinks is Melissa, since Spencer's on her computer.
Right.
He writes, "I am sorry I left without telling you, but they hated me. You know that. They found out I knew. That is why I had to run."
Let's really unpack that phrase for a second. They found out I knew.
It's huge.
It is the first major clue that completely reframes the entire narrative we've had up to this point. Until now, everyone thought Ian ran because he killed Allison.
Right, that was the established fact.
But this suggests he ran because he knew who killed Allison, and that specific knowledge made him a target.
But Spencer is smart. She is the deeply logical one of the group. She knows screen names can be spoofed or hacked. She knows A plays these intricate games. So she decides to test him.
She asks for a piece of data that you simply cannot find on Google.
She asks for his real middle name.
And this is such a specific, weird piece of family lore. Ian's parents were apparently so desperate for a girl. When they had Ian, they were so disappointed they just gave him the middle name they had already picked out for a daughter anyway.
Which is honestly so messed up on its own, by the way. Talk about severe parental projection.
Oh, absolutely. It is a prime example of the Rosewood sickness parents treating their children as aesthetic accessories rather than human beings.
So true.
But it is a tightly guarded secret. Only Melissa and Spencer really knew about it. And the person on the other end of the screen types Elizabeth.
Boom. Verification.
Nah.
In Spencer's mind, that is absolute proof of life.
Or at the very least, it is proof that the person typing has intimate, deep-level knowledge of Ian's private life. But Spencer goes one step further, which is brilliant. She checks the metadata.
She checks the IP address. Now, for anyone listening who isn't a tech head, an IP address is basically like a digital return address. It tells you roughly where a computer is physically connecting to the internet from.
And remember, the police and the media are aggressively pushing the narrative that Ian is in California.
But Spencer traces the IP. And it is not coming from the West Coast.
No, it is not.
It is coming from Rosewood.
That detail chills me to the bone every time I read it.
It means the killer or the ghost or Ian himself is literally just down the street.
It completely shatters the official police California theory. But here is the tragic irony. since the police have already thoroughly discredited the girls as hysterical liars. Spencer can't take this evidence to them.
No, if she shows Wilden the IMs, he will just say she faked them for attention.
She's completely checkmated by the system. And while she is dealing with this terrifying digital haunting, the physical threat in their actual lives is seriously ramping up.
We really need to talk about this new A, because the old A Mona was all about psychological torture, secrets, shame, text messages. This new A, they seem violently physical.
There is a very distinct shift in the modus operandi here. We have this terrifying scene where Hannah is jogging in the woods, and again, Hannah stayed out of the woods.
Seriously, what is with them in the woods?
I don't know, but she's jogging and she trips, she falls hard, she looks up, and there is a physical figure in a dark hoodie just standing over her.
And they don't offer a hand to help her up, they just loom.
They loom and they put a single finger to their lips. Shh.
It is pure physical intimidation.
It sends a clear message: I can touch you, I can get to you, I can hurt you.
And A isn't just teasing them with secrets anymore. They are giving direct orders. A texts them to, quote, keep searching for the real killer or pay the price.
It is almost like A is actively outsourcing the homicide investigation to the girls.
Which is a fascinating dynamic. A wants the truth about Alison's murder just as much as the girls do. A is essentially dropping these twisted breadcrumbs for them to follow, like that vintage photo sent to Emily.
Oh, the backyard photo?
This one makes absolutely no sense to me based on what we knew. It is an old picture. Young Alison DiLaurentis. She's hanging out with her friend Naomi Ziegler. But then standing right there with them, looking very much like part of the inner circle, is Jenna Kavanaugh.
Yeah, Jenna. The girl, the liars, literally blinded in a prank gone wrong. The girl who was supposed to be Ollie's mortal enemy. The ultimate victim of the infamous Jenna thing.
Right. The entire narrative we have been fed for 5 books straight is that Ollie hated Jenna, bullied Jenna, and eventually blinded Jenna to run her out of town. But in this photo, they look like besties.
And the text from A that comes with it says one of these things doesn't belong.
It forces you to completely reevaluate the social hierarchy of Rosewood.
It really does. Because if Jenna wasn't a victim from the start, but was actually a confidant, what did she know?
Did she know Ollie's darkest secrets?
Was the blinding incident even an accident, or was it actually a deliberate cover-up for something much bigger?
It is almost like A is directly telling them, you think you know the story of your own life. You don't even know the prologue.
Exactly. And speaking of desperately trying to rewrite personal histories, let's move into segment 2, Spencer Hastings and the themes of identity and betrayal.
Because while A is rewriting the past, Spencer is trying to rewrite her entire genetic code.
This is the mom match storyline, and I really have to say my heart just breaks for Spencer in these chapters. She is so profoundly desperate for an escape hatch from her family.
We have to look at the toxic environment she is living in. We talked about institutional gaslighting from the police chief, but Spencer is experiencing severe domestic gaslighting. Her own parents have turned on her completely.
It is brutal to read. They come home one day and Spencer's car is just gone.
Not stolen, mind you. Her parents returned it to the dealer without telling her.
And the justification they give is pure manipulation. They say, oh, we're going green. We want you to be eco-friendly.
Meanwhile, her sister Melissa is parking a massive gas-guzzling luxury SUV right in their driveway.
It is clearly not about the environment at all. It is about control. It is about grounding Spencer literally and figuratively so she can't investigate.
And then the vandalism happens. Someone, presumably A, spray paints the word killer in massive blood-red letters on their pristine garage doors. An Alayar on the decorative windmill in the yard.
Now, a normal, healthy parent sees that and immediately thinks, my child is in mortal danger. I need to protect her. What does Mrs. Hastings do?
She chops carrots.
She literally chops carrots.
She is standing in her designer kitchen, aggressively chopping vegetables, complaining about how much money it's going to cost to refinish the custom cedar doors.
She completely ignores the fact that her teenage daughter is being stalked and terrorized. She treats the threat of death as a minor nuisance, a social embarrassment.
It is emotional abandonment of the highest order. Spencer is silently screaming for help, and her mother is worried about the neighborhood curb appeal.
This profound neglect is exactly why Spencer is so vulnerable to the email she gets from Olivia Caldwell.
Right, the genetic match. Spencer signed up for this DNA site hoping maybe she is actually adopted, which honestly would be a massive relief given who her parents are. And she matches with this woman, Olivia.
who happens to be everything Spencer desperately wants to be. She is a successful art director in New York City. She is young, she is cool, she is wealthy. Spencer actually takes the train to Penn Station to meet her in person, and it plays out like a literal romance novel.
It really does. They meet up and they immediately realize they were wearing the exact same shade of green sweater.
Which Olivia smoothly points out perfectly matches their eyes. It is instant, overwhelming validation. She's essentially saying, you look like me. You have my refined taste. You are one of us.
And Olivia just aggressively sells the dream. She talks about her rich husband, Morgan, their gorgeous apartment in the village. She casually mentions taking a helicopter to a private airport like it's taking a cab.
And then she drops the ultimate offer. You could move here. You could go to NYU early. You could just leave Rosewood behind forever.
For Spencer, that is the holy grail. It is not just about finding a new mom. It is about stepping into an entirely new narrative.
In Rosewood, she's the liar, the suspect, the black sheep. In New York with Olivia, she can just be Spencer, unburdened.
But in Rosewood, it feels way too good to be true, doesn't it? It feels like a trap.
It feels exactly like a trap. And the one person who should be warning her to slow down, Andrew Campbell, her boyfriend, is acting incredibly strange about the whole thing.
Andrew is usually her rock.
Yeah.
He's the academic rival turned supportive lover. But when Spencer excitedly tells him about New York and Olivia, he doesn't say, hey, be careful, this is moving fast.
No, he gets super defensive. He tells her she is crazy for trusting this woman.
It reads as normal teenage jealousy at first, but then Spencer spots something. Andrew tries to quickly hide a printed invitation to the Radley Hotel opening party.
Why? Why would a high school guy hide a hotel party invite from his girlfriend?
It strongly suggests he has a secret life he is keeping from her. Or maybe he is terrified. Spencer will find something out at that specific party.
It creates this awful paranoia where Spencer suddenly realizes she might just be trading one set of liars for another.
And that is the real tragedy of Spencer's arc in this deep dive. She is running full speed towards a mirage because the reality of her home life is just unbearable. She is prime prey for a manipulator because she's so utterly starved for affection.
Speaking of starving for affection and making terrible choices,
Right.
we really have to talk about Arya.
Oh, wait.
Because if Spencer's running away from trouble, Arya Montgomery's sprinting directly toward it. Segment 3. Dangerous romances.
Okay, so Arya finally moves out of her mom's house, which is a very smart move considering her mom's new boyfriend. Xavier is an absolute creep who's actively hitting on her.
Yes, getting away from Xavier is good. Moving in with her dad, Byron, is the next logical step.
But the location is the massive problem here. Her dad's new house with his pregnant young girlfriend Meredith is on Coventry Lane.
Which means Arya can physically see the woods, the exact murder woods where Ian's body was, from her new bedroom window.
She's literally living in the shadow of the active crime scene.
And who does she find to distract her from this creeping dread? Jason DiLaurentis.
Allison's older brother. The dark, brooding, mysterious older guy.
This relationship is a literal minefield of psychological red flags. Let's just list them. First of all, he is the brother of the murder victim.
Huge red flag.
Secondly, the man officially accused of killing his sister Ian is the center of this massive media storm they are all caught in.
Right.
And thirdly, Jason is visibly emotionally unstable.
We see him completely lose it and scream at Emily in a parking lot over a tiny, negligible dent in his car. He is aggressive and volatile. But then when he is alone with Arya, he just flips the switch.
He plays the misunderstood soul card flawlessly. They happen to meet at the train station. They go to this dingy dive bar called Bates, which, by the way, is a very not-so-subtle Hitchcock reference there.
Totally. Psycho vibes all the way.
And he tells Arya exactly what her insecure teenage brain needs to hear. He looks at her and says, "You are the only one of Ollie's friends with actual substance."
Ugh, the classic, "you are not like other girls" line. And it works every single time on Arya because she has always felt like the odd one out.
She's the artsy one, the weird one.
Jason validates her unique identity in a way the other girls don't.
But you have to look at the twisted power dynamic here. He is significantly older. He is deeply connected to the core trauma of her life. And he possesses a token from the past that complicates everything we thought we knew.
The time capsule memory. Arya suddenly remembers this game from 6th grade.
The flag piece, they had to capture the flag. And Jason gave Arya Ollie's personal flag piece. He literally stole it from his own sister to give to Arya.
That is a profound familial betrayal. It suggests that even back then when they were kids, Jason and Ollie were at war with each other. He was willing to actively sabotage Ollie just to please Arya.
So when Arya kisses him in the present day, you have to ask, Is she kissing a guy who genuinely likes her? Or is she kissing a guy who is still somehow using her to get back at his dead sister?
Or worse, is she sleeping with the enemy? Because A is watching all of this happen, and A knows that getting intimately close to the DiLaurentis family is a very, very dangerous game.
And speaking of dangerous families, we cannot ignore Emily Fields in this discussion.
No, we cannot.
Because while Ari is dealing with a brooding bad boy, Emily is dealing with an absolute monster in a pastel cardigan.
Segment 4, Emily Fields. This is honestly the most grounded domestic horror story of the entire bunch.
It really is. So Emily is secretly dating Isaac Colbert. Isaac is a genuinely nice guy, but his mother, Mrs. Colbert, is a villain for the ages.
She is the undisputed queen of polite passive aggression. Emily goes over to their house for a seemingly normal dinner, and Mrs. Colbert serves pot roast.
And she looks right at Emily across the table and says, "You like meat, don't you?"
It is such a loaded, deeply nasty line.
It attacks her appetite, her body, and implicitly her sexuality. It is precision designed to make Emily feel carnal and gross and unwelcome.
And then she flat out bans Emily from the house. She kicks her out in the middle of an Applebee's. But the real physical threat, the truly terrifying moment, comes later.
When Emily finds the photo.
Emily sneaks into the Colbert house and finds a photo in a drawer.
Yeah.
It is a nice framed picture of her and Isaac. But something is missing.
Emily's head.
Yes.
Mrs. Colbert has literally taken a pair of scissors and carefully decapitated Emily in the photograph.
That is basically psychotic behavior.
It is a violent physical visualization of her desperate desire to remove Emily from her son's existence. And it powerfully reinforces the overarching theme we keep seeing in this text. The adults in Rosewood are not safe havens.
No, they are not rational protectors. They are active threats.
And right amidst all this domestic trauma, Tom sends Emily a lifeline. Or maybe it's a live grenade, depending on how you look at it. Tom sends her a photo of Officer Wilden.
Leaving a confessional booth at a Catholic church.
With a very specific caption attached. I guess we all have stuff to feel guilty about, huh?
This fundamentally changes the game regarding Wilden. Until this exact moment, he has just been the arrogant, stalling, incompetent cop.
But a man secretly going to confession is a man heavily burdened by his conscience? What on earth is he confessing to?
Right. Is he confessing that he knows Ian is dead in those woods?
Yeah.
That he actively covered it up for someone? Or is he confessing to something he personally did to Alison years ago?
It finally cracks his arrogant armor. It tells the girls and the audience that Wilden has a dark secret. And that secret is likely the key to unlocking the entire mystery of the vanishing body.
Which perfectly leads us into the detective work of Hannah Marin. Because Hannah is the one who actually finds the smoking gun.
Segment 5, Hannah. She is arguably the best natural detective of the group when she is not entirely distracted by teenage drama.
Though she's dealing with some intense social warfare right now. Her future stepsister, Kate Randall, is systematically tricked to destroy her reputation.
Kate is a piece of work. She charms Hannah's dad flawlessly and then deliberately steals Hannah's intended date, Mike Montgomery.
But can we just talk about Mike for a second? Aria's little brother?
Mike is absolutely fantastic in this book. He is secretly dating both girls at the exact same time and just loving the chaos.
Hannah tries to publicly embarrass him at a Chinese restaurant. She tries the underwear model tactic where she orders him the bland diet menu, implying he's getting fat.
And Mike brilliantly turns the tables on her. He starts speaking completely fluent Mandarin to the waiter right in front of her.
He tells the waiter that Hannah is actually an underwear model who needs the diet food herself.
It is a brilliant, much-needed moment of levity. But it also subtly reinforces that literally everyone in this town has hidden layers and secret skills you don't know about.
Very true. But Hannah's real game-changing discovery happens when she goes for a run.
She spots Wilden near the woods. And again, why is everyone always near the woods?
I know, but she spots him, and for some crazy reason, she gets into his car.
And the interior of his police cruiser is an absolute pigsty. Fast food wrappers, empty cups, trash everywhere.
He is living like a desperate man on the ragged edge.
But amidst all that garbage, she sees something crucial. A sticker. A day pass for a local fishing spot.
Now, to the casual listener, why does a random fishing sticker matter at all?
Because of the date stamped on it. The date on that pass corresponds exactly to the days Wilden publicly claimed he was working the Alison case 24/7.
He claimed he was way too busy to properly search the woods for Ian. He claimed he was actively chasing down critical leads.
But he was fishing.
He was literally just
It
fishing.
wasn't working. He completely fabricated his alibi. And when Hannah boldly asks him about the investigation right there in the car, he just snaps.
He starts driving like an absolute maniac, swerving directly into oncoming traffic.
He basically tries to kill her, or at the very least, physically terrify her into permanent silence.
And during this terrifying ride, Hannah notices his clothes. He is wearing a dark hoodie.
A hoodie that looks highly suspiciously like the exact one the physical figure in the woods was wearing.
The figure who stood over her and said, shh.
Exactly. So we are forced to ask a massive question here. Is Officer Wilden actually A? Or is he working as muscle for A?
This brings us to segment 6, the synthesis. We really need to look at the overarching pattern of deception here because it is not random at all. It is highly systematic.
Let's just look at Officer Wilden's resume of corruption in this one single book. Point 1, he deliberately delayed the initial search for the body, allowing the critical evidence to be removed.
Point 2, he fabricated or at least eagerly supported the completely fake tip about Ian being in California.
Point 3, he was randomly seen doing heavy manual labor-loading propane tanks into his trunk at a local Home Depot.
Why is a busy homicide detective loading bulk propane tanks? That sounds exactly like someone getting ready to burn a massive amount of evidence, or maybe hide out in an off-grid bunker.
Point 4, he is seen at confession, heavily implying deep Catholic guilt over a recent action. And point 5, he has a verifiably fake alibi with the fishing pass.
When you stack all of these up, the expert theory becomes pretty clear, doesn't it?
Yes, Wilden is not just a lazy or incompetent cop. He is actively covering something up. He is involved in the crime.
But involved how? Did he actually kill Ollie?
That is the million-dollar question. Or did he kill Ian to keep him quiet? Or did he help Ian fake his own death and escape? His frantic behavior suggests a man desperately covering his tracks.
He is cleaning up a massive mess, and he is terrified of being caught by anyone, hence the reckless driving and the physical intimidation of teenage girls.
And we simply cannot forget the time capsule backstory woven through this. That flashback to 6th grade is vital.
It really is the connective tissue of the whole narrative. The girls tried to sneakily steal Ollie's flag piece to win the summer camp game.
But someone else got there first. Someone stole Ollie's piece before they even had a chance.
And Hannah suddenly remembers seeing a strange black car quietly watching Ollie's house back then. A car that looks an awful lot like the one stalking them right now in the present.
It heavily suggests that Ayer, the killer, is deeply obsessed with the past. They are not just reacting to the current messy situation.
They've been actively watching Allison and her friends since they were literal children.
This is a long, long game.
It is so incredibly creepy to think about, just being silently watched for years without knowing it.
It is the absolute definition of predatory behavior, and it completely changes the stakes of the story. This isn't just about a missing body anymore. It is about a lifetime of invasive surveillance.
So let's wrap this all up in the outro here. What is the actual state of the mystery as we close this deep dive?
Well, Ian Thomas is essentially a Schrodinger's cat of a murder suspect right now. He is either dead in the freezing woods and the IMs are just a cruel, sophisticated trick by a hacker.
Or he's actually alive, hiding out somewhere in Rosewood and sending desperate messages because he's being actively hunted by the real killer.
Meanwhile, A is back and dramatically escalating the threats. We have officially gone from snarky texts to physical assault in the woods.
And the adults, Wilden, the Hastings parents, Mrs. Colbert, they are all acting as a massive firewall against the truth.
They are aggressively gaslighting the girls, isolating them from help, and actively pushing them into more dangerous situations.
Here is the final provocative thought I really want you to chew on after listening to this.
Lay it on them.
If the police officially tell you a dead body is just a hallucination, and your own parents agree with them, and the medical psychiatrists agree with them, how do you actually hold on to your own reality?
That is the brilliant core theme of this book. The desperate resistance against a false manufactured narrative.
And if Ian really is alive, as those IMs suggest, and he ran because, quote, they found out he knew the truth, who exactly is he running from?
Is he running from the corrupt police? Or is he running from the unknown person who really killed Alison DiLaurentis?
I want you to really think about that fishing day pass. Think about the secret middle name, Elizabeth. The clues are all right there. Someone is pulling the strings, and they are standing right in Rosewood.
We just have to collectively figure out who they are before they permanently silence the girls for good.
We would absolutely love to hear your theories on this. Who do you think is the A in the dark hoodie? What is Officer Wilden really hiding? Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive into the source material. Keep your eyes open and always trust your own instinct.
And maybe just avoid walking into the woods at night. Just a helpful thought.
See you next time.